way of escape from pain and sorrow? Are there no means by which bonds of evil may be broken? Is permanent happiness, secure prosperity, and abiding peace a foolish dream? No, there is a way, and I speak it with gladness, by which evil can be slain forever. There is a process by which disease, poverty, or any adverse condition or circumstance can be put on one side, never to return. There is a method by which a permanent prosperity can be secured, free from all fear of the return of adversity, and there is practice by which unbroken and unending peace and bliss can be partaken of and realized. And the beginning of the way which leads to this glorious realization is the acquirement of a right understanding of the nature of evil. It is not sufficient to deny or ignore evil. It must be understood. It is not enough to pray to God to remove the evil. You must find out why it is there and what lesson it has for you. It is of no avail to fret and fume and chafe at the chains which bind you. You must know why and how you are bound. Therefore, reader, you must get outside yourself and must begin to examine and understand yourself. You must cease to be a disobedient child in the school of experience and must begin to learn, with humility and patience, the lessons that are set for your edification and ultimate perfection. For evil, when rightly understood, is found to be not an unlimited power or principle in the universe, but a passing phase of human experience, and it therefore becomes a teacher to those who are willing to learn. Evil is not an abstract something outside yourself. It is an experience in your own heart, and by patiently examining and rectifying your heart, you will gradually be led into the discovery of the origin and nature of evil, which will necessarily be followed by its complete eradication. All evil is corrective and remedial, and is therefore not permanent. It is rooted in ignorance of the true nature and relation of things, and so long as we remain in that state of ignorance, we remain subject to evil. There is no evil in the universe which is not the result of ignorance, and which would not, if we were ready and willing to learn its lesson, lead us to a higher wisdom and then vanish away. But men remain in evil, and it does not pass away because men are not willing or prepared to learn the lesson which it came to teach them. I knew a child who every night when its mother took it to bed cried to be allowed to play with the candle, and one night when the mother was off guard for a moment, the child took hold of the candle and the inevitable result followed, and the child never wished to play with that candle again. By its one foolish act it learned perfectly the lesson of obedience, and entered into the knowledge that fire burns. And this incident is a complete illustration of the nature, meaning, and ultimate result of all sin and evil. As the child suffered through its own ignorance of the real nature of fire, so older children suffer through their ignorance of the real nature of the things which they weep for and strive for, and which harm them when they are secured, the only difference being, in the latter case, the ignorance and evil are more deeply rooted and obscure. Evil has always been symbolized by darkness, and good by light. And hidden within the symbol is contained the perfect interpretation, the reality. For just as light always floods the universe, and darkness is only a mere speck or shadow cast by a small body intercepting a few rays of the illimitable light, so the light of the supreme good is the positive and life-giving power which floods the universe, and evil the insignificant shadow cast by the self that intercepts and shuts off the illuminating rays which strive for entrance. When night folds the world in its black, impenetrable mantle, no matter how dense the darkness, it covers but a small space of half of our little planet, while the whole universe is ablaze with living light, and every soul knows that it will awake in the light in the morning. Know then that when the dark night of sorrow, pain, or misfortune settles down upon your soul, and you stumble upon along with the dreary uncertain steps, that you are merely intercepting your own personal desires between yourself and the boundless light of joy and bliss. And the dark shadow that covers you is cast by none and nothing but yourself. And just as the darkness without is but a negative shadow, an unreality which comes from nowhere, goes to nowhere, and has no abiding dwelling place, so the darkness within is equally a negative shadow passing over the evolving and light-born soul. But I fancy I hear someone say, why pass through the darkness of evil at all? Because by ignorance you have chosen to do so, and because by doing so you may understand both good and evil, and may the more appreciate the light by having passed through the darkness. As evil is the direct outcome of ignorance, so when the lessons of evil are fully learned, ignorance passes away, and wisdom takes its place. But as a disobedient child refuses to learn its lessons at school, so it is possible to refuse to learn the lessons of experience, and thus to remain in continual darkness, and to suffer continually recurring punishment in the form of disease, disappointment, and sorrow. He therefore who would shake himself free of the evil which encompasses him must be willing and ready to learn, and must be prepared to undergo that disciplinary process without which no grain of wisdom or abiding happiness and peace can be secured. A man can shut himself up in a dark room and deny that the light exists, but it is everywhere without, and the darkness exists only in his own little room. So you may shut out the light of truth, or you may begin to pull down the walls of prejudice, self-seeking, and error which you have built around yourself, and so let in the glorious and omnipresent light. By earnestly self-examination, strive to realize, and not merely hold as a theory, that evil is a passing phase, a self-created shadow, that all your pains, sorrows, and misfortunes have come to you by a process of undeviating and absolutely perfect law, have come to you because you deserve and require them, and that by first enduring and in understanding them, you may be made stronger, wiser, and nobler. When you have fully entered into this realization, you will be in a position that you would mold your own circumstance, to transmute all evil into good, and to weave with a master hand the fabric of your destiny. Verse. What of the night, O watchman, seest thou yet? The glimmering dawn upon the mountain heights, the golden herald of the light of lights, are his fair feet upon the hilltop set. Cometh he yet to chase away the gloom, and with it all the demons of the night? Strike yet his darting rays upon thy sight, hearest thou his voice, the sound of error's doom? The morning cometh, lover of the light, even now he gilds with gold the mountain's brow. Dimly I see the path wherein even now his shining feet are set toward the night. Darkness shall pass away, and all the things that love the darkness and that hate the light shall disappear forever with the night. Rejoice, for thus the speeding herald sings. End of verse.
Dear friends, just you were hearing one of my partner, who is my guru and guide and who is inspiring me to really serve the mankind with wonderful ideas. I really feel very proud to share these kind of wonderful thoughts with you. So what I mean to say, if we are sorrow and we are painful and we are really suffering, there is a cause for that, and the cause is simply negative mental attitude. Because if we are always indulged in impure thoughts, that is ignoble thoughts, these beastly thoughts, bestial thoughts, glovering thoughts, selfishness, greed, hatred, jealousy, cynicism, these are the originators of all the sorrow, suffering in our life. And the moment, as James Allen wrote, as a man thinketh in his heart, and also as William James wrote a beautiful things in his psychological quotes, A man can alter his life just by altering his attitude towards life. That is a thinking process. If you are really thinking always truth, justice, peace, love and non-violence, and you are following the natural law, the spiritual laws which never fails, never errs, that laws of cause and effect, you will never be going in sorrow, suffering. Maybe sometimes there is ups and downs in life, but if you stick to your guns of all these beautiful thoughts, noble thoughts, you will be free from all suffering, sorrows and grief. You will be healthy, wealthy and wise, because thought in the mind has made us. What we are by thought was wrought and built. If a man's mind has evil thought, pain comes to him as comes the wool behind the ox. If a man dwells in purity of thought, joy follows him as his own shadow. Remember it. A man is literally what he thinks, his character being the complete sum of all his thoughts. A man is master of his thought, the molder of his character, and the maker and shaper of his conditions, environment, circumstances. You can very strongly say, you are the master of your fate and you are the captain of your soul, solely because you have absolute control over your thought. Change your thought from negative attitude to the positive mental attitude, and you will create really a mansion of heaven where there is peace, joy, prosperity, strength, health, wealth, harmony. Everything is at your doorstep. You are the creator of yourself. Nobody else is responsible for what you are. Be wise. Evil will go away from you. The darkness will pass and will really dawn in your life the wisdom of truth, justice, peace, love and non-violence. Love everyone, respect everyone. Saturate your mind with health consciousness, with wisdom consciousness, with truth consciousness. That is the garden of your mind. Will be flowering with beautiful, all these heavenly things. May God bless you. Be wise, victory awaits you. But he that seeketh, he findeth. He that knocketh, the door will open for you. Only by patience, practice and ceaseless importunity, the temple of knowledge will open to you. The kingdom of God is already with you, but in the bark of your soul, it is sleeping. Waking up. Your self-discipline is your strength. Your calmness is power, and rightfulness of thought is your mastery. Say unto your heart, peace, be still, happiness, be with me, because I follow the noble path. I always follow the spiritual laws, the natural laws, because I know the laws of cause and effect never earns, never fail. As I sow, so shall I reap. And thank you very much. May God bless you.